Good morning and welcome to Counterpoint. I'm Susan Moore in for Todd Harding this week on K99.com and Try1025.com. And our guest is Jan from Hearts and Horses. Tell me your last name, Jan.
It's Polema.
Polema. I've only known you, 50 years, and I still didn't know how to pronounce that. You're one of my favorites,
Aww.
the Hearts and Horses. And if anybody's not familiar with it, I thought we'd start out by saying, what is Hearts and Horses, and what is it to the clients you serve?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me here today. We are so blessed to see you again.
And our blessing for sure.
So Hearts and Horses is just this magical place in Southwest Loveland. We've been around since 1997, and I've actually been associated for almost all 18 years, which is crazy to think about. We serve individuals with disabilities, adults and children with physical and cognitive disabilities, youth at risk, seniors with Alzheimer's and dementia. We have a veterans program as well, and different one-day camps and things too. So
okay, that brings us to, do you do different things in the summertime than in the winter? And what's going on at Hearts and Horses this summer?
We have a lot going on. We have a really strong camp program, and on top of our busy regular program, which continues in the summer, we have our camp program and 2 weeks of All Abilities camps. And we're fortunate to be partnering again with Respite Care, a wonderful nonprofit that works with children with disabilities in Fort Collins and Loveland. And they bring out kiddos, and we also have typical kids that are in the camps, and it's just a wonderful week for these kids to be together and to be connected through the power of the horse.
The power of the horse. So, now, you're a horse girl.
I am.
Tell me how your path led you to Hearts and Horses.
Well, I'm this kid that came out of the womb loving horses, and
you had the gene right away. Yeah.
And to this day, my parents just still shake their heads and can't figure it out. But finally, when I was 12, and I begged and begged and begged, and we had some land, so I figured we bought the land for me to have my horses, right?
Absolutely.
When I was 12, my dad and I went out one day, and we bought a horse, and it was pretty crazy. And she was, we didn't buy the first one because the first horse tried to rub me off on a barbed wire fence, but the second one didn't. So that was the one.
She's the keeper. Good deal.
And with her, she was, not very well trained and spooky and all the rest. And it was just it was a great learning experience for me. And it was actually with that mare. I was such a weak 12-year-old and she was so spooky. She came with this Western saddle, but I couldn't get it on her. So I rode her bareback for like the first 8 months. And then one day I saw this person riding a horse in a little tiny saddle. And I'm like, I bet I could lift that saddle on her. And turns out that was an English saddle, and that's was it for me. And I've ridden English ever since. But that same mare, who was kind of crazy, when I was in high school, I was really involved in my community and did 4-H and all kinds of volunteer work, and learned about a program in Reno. So I grew up in northern Nevada, and this was in the 80s. And there was a program in Reno very similar to what we do at Hearts and Horses. And they were needing volunteers and horses. And so my horse and I went up and volunteered at that program for that summer.
Oh, my goodness.
And so that was kind of the beginning as something to do, as a high school senior to volunteer. And then when I came to Colorado State University, there was a program there that I volunteered at, because I didn't have my horse anymore. So I was, I was like, I could get my horse fixed and give back. And then we moved away, and graduate school happened, and we moved back to Loveland. And one day in 1997 at the Cornrows Parade, I saw that Loveland had a therapeutic riding program. And I'm like, oh, perfect. Like, I still don't have my horses yet, and I had been my background is as a high school science, chemistry and biology teacher.
The brains.
So, but I was a stay-at-home mom at the time, and kind of looking for something to do as a mom's night out and to get my horse fixed. And so I showed up at the doorstep of Ellis Ranch, which is where Hearts and Horses started in 1997, and
just on the other side of 34, from what is that called? Carter Lake Road is
Yes.
what we always called it,
Yeah.
29 there.
County
Yeah.
Road 29 too. Yeah.
If people were interested in coming out, like maybe they didn't have your background, but if they wanted to come out and see what they could do, just give you a call.
Definitely. Give us a call. Look us up on our website. It's www.heartsandandhorses.org. We have a volunteer tab there. We do orientations every other week. A fabulous volunteer program, probably one of the largest in northern Colorado.
Really?
And back to having so many different programs and so many different individuals that we serve, it really allows a volunteer to kind of find their passion and see where their heart is touched, and you know, find their path that they want to do, or maybe they want to, you know, just not be with a lot of people and be more connected with the horses. And we have a whole bunch of volunteers that come in every day and clean the barns, and another cadre that will take them out to the pasture in the morning, and another group that bring them in at night, and people that come in on the 4th of July and on Christmas and New Year's to just help take care of them, because, you know, they don't get a holiday like we do.
No,
so
they don't, do they?
It's we are just really amazed at the volunteers that we have, and the variety and of the volunteers and what they give. Some volunteers will come in and be there for an entire day or a couple days in a row. Others, you know, with a busy life that they have with work and kids, they, you know, might give 2 hours a week to horse lead in a class or volunteer in a class. So.
And that's very appreciated.
Absolutely.
Okay, do any of these volunteers ever become instructors? Because you train instructors as well.
We do. We started as a premier accredited center through PATH International, which stands for the Professional Association of Therapeutic Horsemanship International. We are allowed to be a host site for these different instructor trainings. Okay. And we started that early on as kind of a way to perpetuate bringing instructors into our, you know, for our need. But then it's also become, as we've grown and become known as a program of excellence, and with different programs, and we're a mid-sized program. Really, people come from all over the country now for these trainings, and so we've been doing an instructor workshop and certification once a year, and we hire the faculty, and, you know, we're just simply a host site, and we provide the horses for the riding certification part, and then we've also done the equine specialist in mental health and learning, which is for somebody who might want to work with horses, not necessarily as a riding instructor, but more on the ground, or if they want to do mounted work, it's just from the mental health side of things, how horses can be beneficial, and how to keep the horses safe and protect them as well. So just all about.
You know, I've always said my horses are my therapists. I mean, I want to save as many of the marbles as I have left, and I give them credit for that. So, one of my all-time favorite videos is.
Say sugar in the morning, sugar in the evening, sugar at supper time.
I know that video is years old, but has there ever been a sweeter video than that little Alzheimer's patient singing to her horse Sugar?
Marty, oh, bless her heart. She touched so many of us and our volunteers, and this is a video for our Riding in the Moment program, which is for our seniors with Alzheimer's and dementia. And I've seen that video hundreds of times, right?
And still cry.
And it went viral last week because the blog website Little Things, which is
I just saw that on Facebook this morning. Yeah.
So you know, here I am watching it again, and here I am, you know, tearing up watching it. So it's just so emotional. But we have volunteers. Speaking of our volunteers, like, we have a group of volunteers that when we tell them, okay, we're going to do another, you know, Alzheimer's group, and it's this time on this day, they are there.
Oh,
and they are just, it's just so touching, and to be able to just give joy to our seniors.
What lucky seniors. Okay, now we love the Riding in Memory. And also, you have a program for heroes. What's that all about?
Hearts and Horses for Heroes is our veterans program, and we're working primarily with veterans of all ages that have various challenges that they're dealing with, but primarily it's PTSD. And for this program, I feel like, I know one of the questions you asked me earlier is what does Hearts and Horses means to our clients?
Please, yes.
And for our veterans, the horses really have an impact on helping that negative, ongoing kind of running tape in somebody's head with PTSD. And the horses require somebody to be present.
Right.
And with, not in your head, not thinking about tomorrow, but here and now. Yeah. And that's what's so powerful. And we work with, veterans, post 9/11 veterans, but we have some Vietnam veterans and everybody in between that we serve. So.
Oh, I love you guys. All right. So it's Hearts and Horses. We're talking with Jan Polena. I'm Susan Moore in for Todd Harding on Counterpoint. Let's talk about horses.
Yay.
Last time I was out, you had just gotten a new horse called Varsity, the Varsity. Tell me about him.
So he is, that was last fall when
Yes.
we won him in a national Facebook voting contest. And thank you to all of our supporters who voted, I think, every day for 200 days or whatever it was. It was pretty crazy. But Varsity arrived last fall. He's basically unbroke, although he was leading and good with his feet and things. Since that time, our equine team has been working with him on basic groundwork, and he leads around the property beautifully. He's 4 years old now.
And his breed.
And he's a gypsy. And he's a beautiful gypsy. Typically, gypsy horses tend to be black and white.
Yeah.
Well, he is blonde.
Imagine Have that. More fun. Oh, wow.
He's a beautiful Palomino, and we're just so lucky to have him. But I was gone on vacation last week, so I got an update from our equine team of where he's at, and he's just doing great. He's lunging with voice commands, walk, trot, canter, in a cavesson. Last week he was introduced to the bit, so he was like munching in his stall in this bit for 2 days straight.
Sure.
Munch, munch, munch. And he's been introduced to different classes and just kind of the goofy stuff that we do with some of the games and activities in the classes, and he's handling that just fine. He just really seems to be he's in all the with all the different herds of the horses we have, and it's fun because he's kind of the young kid on the block, and kind of starts a little trouble here and there, and the older guys will kind of put him in his place. And really the next step over the next couple months is for us to back him and to get him riding. So.
Gosh, I wish I could enroll one of my 4 of my horses there.
He's in kindergarten right now.
That's where mine are too. But isn't it just fun, the joy of the antics of a young horse? Actually, some of my old horses are pretty funny too. They just have such a great sense of humor.
Yes, they do. And just you can just watch them and just laugh. If you need a good chuckle, just go watch a herd of horses. And
absolutely.
All of their, getting their needs met and how that all looks.
So Hearts and Horses looks fabulous out there. You've got new buildings coming in?
That was the other thing that I forgot to mention that we're doing this summer.
No, I reminded us. That's
we're doing a summer of construction.
Oh.
And so we are really under a pretty major improvement project. We've got one of our old arenas that was on the property when we bought it in 1999. We've refurbished that and put a new roof on it and new inside. I mean, other than just the skin or the skeleton, it's all brand new. We've also added a building to the south of that will be kind of our place for everybody to come as they enter on the property, and it'll be kind of our operations center. And we'll have a new tack room that's 2 or 3 times the size of currently right now. And so it's been challenging, but at the same time we feel so blessed to have this amazing group of contractors from Northern Colorado. I have some grants also that are supporting the funding of this project, but honestly, a huge chunk of this project is being donated by contractors. 100% of the concrete. Oh gosh,
No?
might forget somebody.
All right.
Have me back later, and I'll have my list because it keeps increasing. You know, as
Yes.
somebody finds out about what another contractor is doing, they say, "Oh, how can we help?" And you know, they
Right.
might
Yeah.
donate labor or material or both. It's just incredible. It's just incredible.
Do you
what's
ever
going on.
watch DIY when they have desperate landscapes and everybody comes in for a day and they just make it
I don't know
beautiful?
how they do that.
I
'Cause
don't know
We've
either.
been doing this since January.
Yes, it takes time, doesn't it? Nice to see the
Yeah.
improvement.
So it'll be really wonderful. And when somebody comes on the property, they'll actually know where to go and it'll be
Right.
very clear.
Right.
And one of the last things we're excited to do and plan for is a memory garden with benches and trees. And over the years, we've had, you know, wonderful people that want to do something like that for their
Right.
loved ones that have passed away. So we're excited to have that as an actual,
Oh,
place
yeah.
to have people.
I don't know if I ever told you, but when I was married to number 2, we lived on County Road 29, just up the road from Hearts and Horses. But at the time, it was still owned by the Green family, C.C. Green, and her Morgan horses. So I know the old facility inside and out, and I still love coming out there. It's just so lovely.
It's such a beautiful part of the world out
It
there
is.
and a
It
beautiful
is.
piece of property. And it's certainly transformed a lot since, even since we've had it and even in the last, 3 or 4 years,
Yeah.
it's changed. And it was neat. Last summer, the Green family had a family reunion out there.
No
and it was so
kidding.
fun to have. To just, show them kind of what's
Oh.
going on. And they're just so proud
Oh, I
that their
bet.
family property
Yeah.
is being used in the way that it's being used.
Oh, how sweet. So, are you guys going to get any break this summer? Your family, are you going to be able to do anything fun? Like take horseback riding lessons on your new horse?
Well, it's awesome. I've spent actually the month of June playing a little bit, so I got a chance to go out of town with my family for a couple different weeks, and now I'm kind of like back to the grindstone. And I am excited to really start getting involved with my new horse. I've had her a couple months, and I lost my old horse in November. He
so
passed away, and
sorry.
he was a
honey.
special guy.
Yeah.
And but this gal, it was kind of a random thing. I found her on Facebook and decided to
Really?
drive to Durango the next day and see her. Talk
Because
to
it's
my
right,
husband.
right on the way. And your husband said, "Are you nuts?"
He went with me. I'm so blessed.
Aw, you really are.
So so she's 8 years old. She's a draft cross. She's had a whole nother job, and I'm looking forward. So she's been an outfitter's horse for the last 7 years.
Don't we call that a been there, done that horse?
Yes,
Pretty
exactly.
much.
You know,
Yeah.
at our age, we need those kinds of horses, right? Where you
You're
can,
very kind.
where they're fairly solid and they've
Yes.
kind of seen a lot of different things. Although my girl is very comfortable in the wilderness, climbing around, big mountains and things and rugged rocks. And well, she's going to become a dressage horse.
Oh,
And
I
so
can't wait to see you
We've
guys.
we've been spending the last couple months learning what the city life is like.
Is that like just cars and things?
Cars and automatic waters and
Oh,
backing out of a trailer and
Oh, yes.
backing out onto pavement and
yeah. New
just
stuff.
just all kinds of new stuff that although she did very well in the fireworks over the last weekend, my other crew didn't, but she was pretty solid.
Right. Oh, good
So,
for you.
yes.
What's her name?
Well, she didn't have a name.
Out.
She was called the Big Black Mare.
Oh, she's black.
She is black. Her mom was
Okay.
called the Big Black Mare. She hadn't had any vaccinations or had any shelter or food during the winter or anything. So she's a really hardy girl. I'm calling her Josie.
Oh,
She's got the
okay.
kindest eyes. She's a big girl. She's probably 16, 2 or 3. And my 2-horse trailer is now a 1-horse trailer because she's so big.
You don't think Hearts and Horses is going to want to steal her at some point, do you?
Well, I have said that, if I can get her to a place where she's really comfortable around a lot of goofy stuff, and those show horses, she'll get there. She's got a good mind on her. She would be a great horse for our veterans program because
Yeah,
she's a big girl
Yeah.
and very sensitive.
Okay.
So,
Well, you enjoy her for now.
yes.
Every year in the fall, we get together and party and have a great time. Is it too soon to start talking about the lucky Hearts, you say it.
On October 3rd, it's our Lucky Hearts Casino Night, and it's
There
our
you go.
15th annual.
No way.
And I think you've been there
Everyone.
for so many of them. And so that's the first Saturday in October at the Embassy Suites. And no, it's actually not too early to talk about it. Thank you for
Okay.
bringing that up. We're actually sending out all of our sponsor packets right now, and we had a lot of sponsors last year, and we're always looking for more. So people can contact me if that would be something they'd be interested in. And it's just such a fun night.
It is. Now, I never make it past 9. Tell me what happens.
Well, nobody leaves except you, apparently. We used to have all these lines at our checkout once the auction was done. And now that the casino night is there, it's just a fun night of entertainment for everybody. And, we don't look at it as a way to make more money. It's just an entertainment, and people just gamble the night away with points and have fun and win prizes. And it goes until midnight.
Oh,
So
really?
It's a lot of
I
fun.
didn't know that.
Last year, a lot of people actually stayed at the Embassy Suites, so they just took the
Nice.
elevator home and
Yeah.
really had fun.
That's
And
the way to do
so
it.
it's packed. We're hoping for at least 600 people this year,
Oh.
and it is just a ball.
It's just a celebration of
It
the
is,
year.
yeah.
Wonderful. I'm wondering what I haven't asked you about, Jan, that you'd like to talk about.
Wow. I just
I'm
am so
sorry.
blessed.
I don't mean to put you on the spot.
That's okay. I can't believe I get to go to work every day and do what I do and work with the people that I work with, and I think they would say the same thing. To be in an organization that does what we do and gives back and sees the miracles that we see every day, and people that donate money or volunteers that give of themselves when they could do that in so many other places. It's just, I just can't hardly put it into words.
Oh,
But
I think you did well.
I just think I'm so blessed to do what I do and do what we do. Be a part of such a great thing, bigger than just me or
Yes,
a few
right.
of us.
Yeah. Well, I think you're the heart and soul of Hearts and Horses, along with the horses, and I'm grateful that you're there.
Thank you. I feel blessed to be there. I think I alluded to earlier that I started as a volunteer in 1997 and kind of through this or that, then became an instructor, then became program director and was program director for years and years. And 2 years ago, I decided to become executive director after
Yay!
lots of pushing from so many other places, and other people. And I just, was like,
It's a
I
big
couldn't
step,
do that,
wasn't it?
and
Yeah.
I just couldn't think I can't think of doing anything else now.
Oh,
I just
good.
love my job, and I
Good for
love
you.
what I do, and just feel such energy and passion from my coworkers and staff around
What
me.
a gift to love to go to work every day. I know how that is.
I think you do too.
All right, Jan, from Hearts and Horses, I thank you so much for coming in today. Any questions that we haven't answered this morning that you might have about Hearts and Horses, heartsandhorses.org. And will you come back again?
Absolutely.
Oh, goody.
I would love to. Thank
All
you
right.
so much,
Thank
Susan.
you,
I
honey.
love you guys.
We love you more. All right, I am Susan Moore in for Todd Harding on Counterpoint. And we are on K99 and Try 102.5.